Hello everybody, welcome to another video here on my channel. This is a charting session for June 25th. Today was Tuesday. I won some trades, I lost some trades. I'm going to be going over them. So, very first thing I'm going to go over is, let's go to the daily. All right, so looking at this daily, if I zoom in here, I'm going to take off the drawings. In the daily, we've came down and we've tapped into the daily for value gap that's right here. What I'm actually going to do as well, I have something right here for it. Daily for value gap, okay. So daily for value gap and daily for value gap. Okay, so we got this put in. So we entered a daily for value gap. You can see we obviously came up off of the daily for value gap. So we did respect it. Doesn't mean we're going to keep going higher. It could just be an initial respect and then we could head lower. We also may tap into this possible, I don't know why that's just 1 minute. This possible 4 hour for value gap and also this daily for value gap in here. Looking at the 4 hour, you can see here's this 4 hour for value gap. I don't know why this says 1 minute. I think this is a 1 hour. Yeah, this is a 1 hour. So in the 4 hour chart, right now, I can see that we've came up and we are in this, we've tapped into the consolidation area. So I am going to, should I draw that out? Yeah, I'll draw this out. How does this look on the 1 minute? Let me just see. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so for right now, I'll just have that there. So we have this order block. I'm actually going to remove that for now, but you can see at the end of the day here, we tapped into this order block in this consolidation area. So what I was looking at today, I'm going to be kind of going over this. So if we go to the 15 minute, this is where I was creating my bias. We had an SMT at these lows. We came up, took out the SMT TP, kept going higher. We took out Asia high and Asia low. We still had London low down here, matched with protected low. So that's something very important to look at. This is going to be a higher draw liquidity because it's London low and it's a protected low. They're both draws of liquidity. Looking at here, we have this 15 minute that we came down, respected. We formed some internal action here, so I'm going to show you this. So first of all, we have inside of this move starting at like 7 a.m. We have this SMT. I did not take this. I was not at the market. I really got to start going to the market earlier because there is really good setups in there in the AM session in pre-market. We have this SMT, took out the SMT TP. We came down, retapped into this 15 minute for value gap, formed an SMT on that. We came up, took out this SMT TP, and then we had this previously protected high that gets taken out, and then we form an SMT up here. This SMT makes this the SMT TP. So right here, SMT, we also form another SMT, we come down, first entry. This, did I take this? I don't know if I did or not. No, I don't think I did. This would be a beautiful entry though. Yeah, this was right at market open. I actually got to the market at, I believe it was 9:34 is when I saw this setup and I was like, oh, I missed it. I was pretty upset by that. But after this, I started trading. So we took out this protected low and this SMT TP, and now, all right. Once again, I just realized that I had my recording paused. I don't know why that keeps happening. I'm not pressing a key for that unless I'm pressing shift and I'm accidentally pressing my pause. I might honestly change keybind for that. But where was I? I was down here. So we took out this protected low, or yeah, we took out this protected low in this SMT TP. Now out of this range right here, we have not tapped discount, and then we kept going higher. So that's kind of like the first little faulty that I've seen. It really doesn't have to touch discount, but anyways, we created this SMT right here, and on this, this is not a 1 minute for value gap. Is this a 1 hour for value gap? Let me just check here. Maybe it's a 5 minute for value gap. What is this? Is it a 15? It's got to be a 15 minute. That's what I initially thought it was. Yeah, it's a 15 minute. I don't know why I wrote put 5 minute or 1 minute. So there's a 15 minute for value gap. Now on the 15 minute, I'm pretty sure it does look like a respect. Yeah, see, it just wicked. I think so. Yeah, it just wicked right here. So 15 minute fair value gap still held. So that's possibly why this didn't get taken out. It really doesn't have to. But we came up, formed this SMT. And then with this SMT, we formed this high. We came up, took out this SMT TP. And then in here, we formed another SMT right after taking these lows. This came down, took out this SMT TP, and also swept this low right here. We formed another SMT here. We came up to this SMT TP, and then we finally came up to this SMT TP from this SMT. My family is constantly trying to talk to me when I'm recording this. Okay, so after coming up to here, now look at this macro. This macro is a little confusing. I don't know if I already said this before the recording cut off, but this macro is a little confusing because we have a downtrend, and then this is the uptrend. This could have possibly been the market structure shift. Maybe like right here. And it's not really clear. But I will say that this right here is Silver Bullet. So we have this SMT, and I didn't recognize this at the time. But usually with Silver Bullet is that at 10 a.m., anywhere from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., usually whatever first fair value gap that we tap into in combination with the draw of liquidity is it will get respected. For example, we have an SMT here. This SMT TP is the draw of liquidity. Obviously that already got hit, but the way the price wanted to go was up, right? We came down, and even though it looks like we just swept these, we came down, we tapped into this 1 minute, which was the Silver Bullet for value gap, and then we got a reaction off of it. So right here, after that, we formed an SMT down here. Sadly, we didn't go tap discount yet, but we came up to take SMT TP. And then here was my first entry that I took. So after we took this SMT TP, we kind of gotten down. And then right before this macro, I identified this as a market structure shift. And so we came back up, tapped into this fair value gap. I took my short. I took my short off of this rejection candle after it closed. We came down, took out this protected low. That's where I took my position off. So this was a winning trade. And the way I was thinking about this was, I was thinking, okay, this is an uptrend. Even if you're looking at the smaller, this right here is an uptrend, right? So this macro, it is possible it could have pushed us down to take this protected low. But right here, we had a reversal, and I thought this could have continued, so I put light size right here in this 1 minute for a second entry. But I ended up getting stopped on that, which is fine because this was only a little bit of what this was. We came up, and we ended up actually respecting this 1 minute. So here's a possible entry. You could view this as a market structure shift after the reversal. And then we tap into this 1 minute for value gap. So this right here could actually be first entry for trading the reversal. And then secondly, we have another fair value gap. The way I would do this is I would put, honestly, if this was me, I'd probably put my entry off of this top. So this would be second entry, right, in this for value gap. And then I put my stop probably down here just because it's kind of a bigger candle. So I would win that trade right there. Next, we have this 5 minute for value gap, respected off of it. Then we formed this SMT. And yes, this is a big trade I took. I put a lot of size in this trade and I lost, and I'm going to explain it. And I looked at this, I still don't know why it didn't work. It's just like I said on my last charting session, the one trade I put high size on is the one model, the one trade that just didn't work out for some reason. It's like it's against me. I don't know what it is. It's anytime I try to put in high size for a really good setup, it just doesn't work for some reason. And I think the reason why is because there was a bunch of buyers that just wanted to come in for some reason, and I'll show you why I think that. So right here, formed an SMT. Okay, so the draw liquidity is now this low. It's this high gets protected after we make a fair value gap to the downside, after we have a breakaway candle, which is a candle that creates a fair value gap. So right here, you can see we actually created a bullish fair value gap, but we came down and disrespected it completely, which then created this fair value gap right here. Okay, so if we're looking at this fair value gap right here, which is right after this one got disrespected, this fair value gap should be very strong. Okay, that in confluence with this SMT, in confluence to us having a uptrend going into this macro. All right, price should reverse to the downside. Like, I don't know, 95 out of 100 setups exactly like this that you see, it's going to work like 95% of the time. So I wanted to put my entry in this fair value gap, and I actually put it a little bit higher. I wanted to put it a little bit higher in the fair value gap for some reason. So I think I wanted to take midpoint of the fair value gap. We came up here. I took my entry. Yeah, I took it. You can see this is exactly where I entered. I took it right here. So I'm going to put this back to. I want to take it halfway. I took it right here. Okay. So number one, after taking this, you can see the candle respected. This is a wick. The body closed down here. So far, it's respecting beautifully. But I'm still waiting for the macro. Once this macro hits is where I expect it to dump down, because the macro is going to activate it. Next candle. We wick it again, and we form a second SMT. So this is even stronger to go to the downside. Third candle, another massive wick, showing a lot of bullish or bearish actions. It's getting ready to dump down. And we have this red candle, and looks pretty good. Then this candle right here, this is the first candle of the move I was expecting right here. It's going to dump. We've respected this fair value gap with 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. We respected this fair value gap. And then what happens? We get a nice move down. And I also want to note that with this trade, we had equal lows, which is a higher draw liquidity. Obviously this SMT TP. And then down here we had these equal lows. Okay, so everything was pointing the direction for us to reverse. And then this next candle is what happens. Massive pump, and I just get stopped out. I have no idea why. The next candle, like, again, massive, right? And the protected high got taken. So no reason this trade, like, it was respecting well. This should have dumped. I don't know why it didn't. This would have probably been my biggest win of the year, because I put a lot of size on this. So I obviously lost a lot on that, but I had, I'll explain that in a second. So now, we come up here and we form an SMT. So here, especially with this displacement candle down, now I'm expecting the reverse, because I know a reverse has to happen. All right, it's probably going to happen. Yes, this did get yes, this right here got disrespected, but the reverse can still happen up here. So I actually, I was going to take an entry here, but I wanted to wait. I was being cautious. I wanted to see this get respected first, because I knew we had a lot more to the downside. And then we had this created. So here was this fair value gap. Now, at the time, I was thinking to myself in my head, I was like, it's not going to come back up here. Like, if I'm actually going to be patient, wait for this trade, it's not going to come back up here. So I actually took it right here basically after this candle came down. After it came up, I think I actually took a 30-second entry. So 30-second entries are good for moves that probably won't get back up to the 1 minute fair value gap. This is just something you recognize over time with trading. Like, it's not something that you'll just know. It's something that you have to do years of experience, and then you'll actually learn. But my goal for this was to target this 5 minute fair value gap. And the projected winnings from this would have been around equal to the loss of this right here. This would have got me to break even for the day if I hit this 5 minute. I should have held it longer, but I didn't. But we ended up going down. We took out this sell side liquidity, and then I took my position off. 5-minute, it actually came up a little bit. It then tapped into this 5-minute for value gap that was newly created. And then, sadly, I missed the rest of this move to where it sold off all the way down to discounted this range. So then we got to look at what happens after that. Here I stopped looking at the charts because I was kind of upset. But we have this SMT formed right here. So since this is a bigger SMT, I would usually look at the 5-minute. And we have 5-minute for value gap created right here. So now that you got that in mind, right here I'd be waiting for us to tap down into it. I was looking at the chart a little bit from time to time. I was glancing at it. I don't know if we hit this for value gap. Right around here is when I just stopped looking at it. But right here, either we are in premium now and we could dump down, like this could be an entire reversal and we could start going down, or we just keep going higher. I'm gonna pull up ES now, defining SMTs. Okay, so I really don't think I'm gonna find anything until we get to the end of this move. All right. First thing I notice here is that we have an SMT. I also do notice that this SMT will not hold. So with this big of an SMT, I'd want to look at like the 5-minute, and I'd wait for displacement down in the 5-minute. Displacement down, we just come up and recover that. I guess we really don't have any displacement down for this SMT to be valid. Obviously in the 1-minute we would, right? The 1-minute we have for value gap right here. We have for value gap right here, but they're not that big. They're not that strong because relative to the model, these candles, we should be looking at a little bit higher of a time frame. Maybe even like the 3-minute. Maybe even, right? But doesn't look like it played out. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Now let's just look at the 1-minute here on this internal action. So far there's nothing. Yep, there's really nothing so far. I do have a feeling this is going to be an SMT. I feel like this, I'm just going to predict this. We'll see if I'm right. I feel like this is going to be an SMT right here. Yep, I was right. See, this is just some proof that a lot of experience at looking at the market, you can kind of tell if something's going to be an SMT. There's no evidence, but I can just kind of tell. Right here would have actually been a really, really good setup. This was kind of near the end of the day, though. But we have an SMT. We have this 1-minute, 5-minute, and 15-minute for value gap that we're getting respected from this. Any retracement down to a 1-minute, I would take it. Right here. So if we tap this 1-minute, I probably would take this, yeah. So let's pretend this was a trade. I'd put my TP up here. This would be your SMT TP. Here would be your entry. Sell side or stop loss. Okay, I would get stopped. Actually, let me just change this. Hold on. This could also get respected as well. If I was actually trading, I would have more thought into this and probably think about this beforehand. This would have been a better entry because now we retrace to discount. Okay, well, I guess nothing would happen. It is the end of the market, though, so nothing's going to be really that probable. Okay, guys, so now let's just look at news for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have new home sales. Okay, so tomorrow's going to be okay. Probably not that great. I don't care about that yet. Let's look at my predictions for tomorrow. So I guess I can't really tell because we still have all of overnight session, but here's what I'm thinking. I think an overnight session, we come up and reach discount. So out of this bigger range, which looking at like a 4 hour, you can see what this range is. So to break through this this daily for value gap, I want to see us come back up to premium, hit these fair value gaps, right? If we can come up to premium, hit these fair value gaps, reject off, get a nice setup to the downside, I think we can break through this daily fair value gap and head new lows and take out all of this liquidity down here. So that is my guess of what's going to happen. Right on the bigger time frame, it looks so far away, but here it's just right up here. But yeah, that's all I have for this charting session. Hope you guys got something out of it, and I will see you all in the next one.